Former point guard Patrick Beverley a couple of days ago was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. And I did a piece on this, and I told you guys it would not surprise me if Patrick Beverley gets traded once again. Well, Patrick Beverley has been traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to give Memphis a couple of players, and in return, they get Patrick Beverley. Now, Patrick Beverley is going to add a lot of toughness, a lot of heart, a lot of fight, veteran leadership to the Minnesota Timberwolves, which they've been lacking for the past couple of seasons. I feel like this move also make the Minnesota Timberwolves be a serious contender to make it to the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, you never know. Patrick Beverley will add toughness, heart, grit, veteran leadership. He's on the defensive end, he's really going to help the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're also lacking in that field as well. And when you look at the trade on the other perspective of the Memphis Grizzlies, they get a handful of players. I feel like most of these players are going to get flipped once again. And when you look at it from the Minnesota Timberwolves standpoint, they're adding someone with a lot of playoff experience. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have been eyeing Patrick Beverley for quite some time now. They wanted to do a trade for Patrick Beverley a couple of seasons ago with the Clippers, but they just couldn't reach a resolution on that particular trade. The Minnesota Timberwolves were not willing to give up the players that the Clippers wanted. So the Clippers thought it would be in their best interest to trade Patrick Beverley to the Memphis Grizzlies. And they got Eric Bledsoe over there with the Clippers. And Patrick Beverley has been traded once again, okay? What I think about this trade, winners and losers, I don't think this is a type of a trade that you can say that there were winners and losers. I just felt like this is a trade that, benefited both ball clubs. When you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, it benefits them because now they got a presence, particularly with veteran leadership and toughness and heart. Patrick Beverley is going to bring that fire to the Minnesota Timberwolves, which has been lacking for a long period of time over there in Timberwolves land. And when you look at it from the Memphis Grizzlies standpoint, their roster was already full. It would have been very hard to get Patrick Beverley on that particular roster, and his minutes would have decreased. So now they got a handful of players that I feel like they're going to flip once again. Now, what this trade also means for Rondo is Rondo going to be a permanent member of the Memphis Grizzlies. It may quite possibly be, but like I said in my video that I made about the trade between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Clippers, I feel like ultimately they're going to try to find a dance partner for Rondo. But ultimately, I feel like there's not going to be any suitors. And to me, I feel like they're going to just buy him out. He had a 2-year deal that he signed with the Atlanta Hawks. Then he got traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. I feel like the same thing is probably going to happen to Rondo. And that does not look good for Rondo, in my opinion, as far as him playing basketball in the NBA. It just doesn't look good from that standpoint. Maybe teams will pick him up on a veteran minimum contract, a 1-year contract to just play the season out. He has a fairly good relationship with the Lakers. The Lakers would love to have Rondo back into their ball club. Hell, they was working out Isaiah Thomas, and he hasn't played basketball in many moons. Okay, not the Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas, but the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtic Isaiah Thomas. He was working out with the Los Angeles Lakers, trying to get on their roster. But nevertheless, when you hear stories like that, there's always a possibility of Rondo probably going back to the Lakers, maybe go back to the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban was a Rondo fan, even though the former coaching staff that's no longer there wasn't a big fan of Rondo. Maybe Rondo can find his way there. There's plenty of ball clubs that are playoff bound anyway that would love to have the services of Rondo. And we'll have to just wait and see if he gets bought out, like that from Memphis. But they would love to have a trade partner for him. But I just don't see the suitors that big, and they're obviously going to have to keep him on the roster until it gets close to the trade deadline. And then you never know. A lot of contending teams that needs a veteran leadership, a point guard, a floor general, they may inquire for the services of Rondo that way. But going back to Patrick Beverley, I feel like this is a good move for Patrick Beverley. He's going to be in a smaller market, and he can, just have his way, just be Patrick Beverley. And like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies need a player such as Patrick Beverley, who has grit, heart, and leadership and veteran experience. Even though at times last year when the Clippers were going against the Suns, you saw that in glimpses, but you didn't see the whole perspective of the other things that Patrick Beverley can bring to a ball club. There were some instances where Patrick Beverley just acted a little childish, okay? And he's going to be penalized for his being childish in that series. He's going to be suspended, which is, the Memphis, not Memphis, but the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had to serve his suspension with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is not going to be a big deal for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota have a lot of young pieces there, and Minnesota has the talent, but just hasn't put it all together in one calendar basketball season. They just need a couple of breaks here and there, add some veteran leadership, which you're going to get from Patrick Beverley, and then roll the dice. And luckily, obviously with this move can really make them a playoff contending team. Because Patrick Beverley is going to give Minnesota two things that they were lacking. And they're going to have to also add some more veteran players to that squad. But the two things that Minnesota was lacking is veteran leadership, which it was a young ball club, and defense. Patrick Beverley is good on defense. And it's a type of defense that's contagious. I mean, every team that he went to, it's kind of contagious. Even with the Clippers, no matter what you say about Patrick Beverley, you can't question nor deny his toughness, particularly on the defensive end. And he's going to add, defense to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It is only going to be contagious to Cat and all those guys over there. So, that's all I got for this. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, the host with the most. I'm up out of here. Deuces.